Congratulations and welcome to South Africa and the stepping
so
stone to the African market. Your facility here today, 9,500 square
Exactly. Yeah.
meters, 27 people. When are you going to be ramping up production?
Very soon. It will be a matter of a few months, maybe about 2 to 3 months. We'll be ramping up the production. So our manpower as well is going to go up to 100 people. Our localization, our local people here, and especially the black empowerment, we have been focused on that. And today, almost 27 out of 30 people are black empowerment, and we are looking forward in the same direction as we move on.
It's been quite a long time, this thinking about investing in South Africa, taking that plunge. Just give me a little bit of history to recap.
We started out looking at Africa as a location to invest in, or as a continent, over 10 years ago. And in about 7 years ago, we looked at the project for PRASA as a launching pad, and this cemented South Africa as a natural location to set up BFG Africa's central operations. And we started planning for today's launch basically almost 7 years ago. It's been a bit of a time in the making for several reasons. One, of course, is that the actual localization of manufacture for PRASA took a lot longer than expected. It's, I think, running significantly behind original program. So we started manufacturing the original components for the PRASA trains in Bahrain from train set 1. Original trains were built in Brazil and brought out here. We supplied the components into Brazil, and then for the initial couple of trains, we supplied those for Bahrain as well, while this facility started to accelerate up to the point it is at today.
What has the skill development been running up to this point?
We have been very committed to skill development. So initially we took about 18 people, and we flew them to Bahrain, and they were kept over there for almost 4 months on training, and they were given both theoretical training as well as practical training for over a period of 4 months. So most of the people who started the training were school graduates and without any skills with them. So they were trained in those skills, and then they were brought back here.
Let's just talk about the sector in South Africa, which looks a little different to the rest of the African continent. We have an industry that is constrained. How have you put down your approach to being in South Africa and not finding yourselves in the same position as some of our other international investors?
I think it's important to have good partners to begin with. I think a partnership approach that we've adopted here is important. So I think perhaps compared to some of the others, that commitment to having a partner and to working strongly with the partner and finding the right partner, I think is key towards establishing a really stable sector and relationship. And our partners are committed with us for making the venture a success. They share the enthusiasm, and that's very important for developing the market, for growing the business, and they're actively involved. And I think that's perhaps one of the maybe key distinguishing factors, and it's one of the things that we did take a bit of time to find the right people to work with here in South Africa. I think that's a key part of the decision.
You don't just do rail components, you're multi-sectorial.
So our business is quite diversified. We work in different sectors. One of our key sectors outside of rail is, of course, the area of transportation. We do automotive parts, we do parts for buses. We've been working with the Volvo Group internationally. We do a lot of work as an OEM for Japanese automotive builders and earth-moving machinery, farm machinery, and what have you. Outside of transportation, we are one of the global leaders in the area of composites for architecture and infrastructure. Been involved in a lot of landmark architecture that's been publicized and been in the press quite extensively, and I think architectural composites will be a very big area in South Africa, and the rest of the continent here. We're also very strong. We're one of the leaders as well in the area of wind energy components. So we're a strategic supplier to GE, to Siemens Gamesa, and some of the other builders of wind energy turbines. We have a very large business that we do in wind energy in our factories in Brazil, in our factories in the Philippines, our factories in India, and we see that South Africa will become another center for wind energy components.